Hey fellow book lovers, welcome back to the Bibliovert channel. My name is Jacqueline. So for the last couple of weeks, I have done fall related videos, which I have absolutely loved, and typically I don't stick to a TBR very well. However, I think having the videos have made me stick to my TBR, which has kind of been shocking. I have absolutely adored the books that I have read for fall. It has been so enjoyable, so much fun. So in order to continue that momentum, I'm doing it again. So this video is going to be me reading through my fall TBR in some sort of way, fashion, shape, whatever. So needless to say, I'm thrilled, very excited. In the last video, I was reading the Atlas 6, and since then I have finished it. Absolutely loved it. My brain was blown. It was so good. It was literally everything I wanted it to be and more. The twist that happened, my jaw was on the ground. There were several points in which my jaw was just on the ground, didn't see it coming. Absolutely fantastic. I'm really looking forward to the next one. I gave it 4 stars. The only reason I didn't give it 5 was because I feel like it may have been a little bit too complicated for me at some points, and maybe a little too over my head, which I realize is a me problem. It's definitely not the author. That was a me problem. But it was very easy to like put it down and come back to. And then there were things that I feel like I kind of just zoned out when they were starting to talk about like the super scientific aspects of it. And I just kind of had to be like, I don't comprehend that, but just yes, like I'm just accepting it as a truth, because I'm not smart enough to comprehend. So there were a few things of that, but again, that's a me problem, definitely not the author. So thoroughly enjoyed it, but gave it 4 stars. I've also read A Shadow in the Ember by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and that is a podcast episode that we have done. So read that book. That was obviously not on my fall TBR. It was better than I thought it was going to be. It's not my favorite out of the 4 in kind of this like from Blood and Ash realm that she's done, but it was number 2, so I was quite pleased with that. But if you want to hear all of our thoughts, definitely go check out the Bibliovertpodcast. We have an episode on it, and yeah, so you can hear it all there. So for this week, I'm super excited because I'm going to be spending the week at LB's lake house. LB is one of our co-hosts over on the Bibliovertpodcast. Her family has a lake house in South Carolina, so I am going to get to go spend a week there, and I'm so excited because it's kind of like in the mountains, and then the lake's really pretty, and it's going to be nice in fall, and it's going to be crisp and cool weather. So perfect setting for reading a lot of really great books. But because I am clearly unhinged, I am acting like I have to bring my entire library with me. So I'm going to show you the books that I'm bringing with me. Most of them are on my fall TBR, so I'm not going to go into too much of a deep dive because I've already talked about all of them. But yeah, so these are the books that I'm bringing for a 6-day trip. Something's wrong with it. I'll probably bring more, honestly. And I'll probably go buy some books while I'm there because AK also lives in South Carolina. So AKLB and I might just, go buy a bookstore. So, not buy a bookstore, just go to a bookstore, buy a lot of books. Anyway, let's get into this. Okay, so book number 1, The Bone Witch by Rin Chapeko. This one I have got to read or Liz will disown me and no longer be my friend. So, Bone Witch. This is one that I am like really excited for, but Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. We're going to have some nice murder mystery thrillers thrown in here. Can't wait for that. Ironically, the lake house is like deep in the woods and obviously on a lake and all these things. So I'm probably going to freak myself out with some of these books that I have on the list because I am a wuss when it comes to anything scary, like scary movies, horror, nope, can't do it. So there's a chance I'm going to lose my mind if I read a murder mystery while I'm there, but it'll add to the ambiance, Be nice and realistic, I guess. So anyway, but this is one I'm really excited about. The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I'm excited about this one. I've only heard good things. I can't wait to check it out. I think it's going to be really beautiful and lyrical and atmospheric, and I cannot wait. Then we have Small Favors by Aaron A. Craig. This one, I said in a couple videos ago, definitely gave me The Village by M. Night Shyamalan vibes. I don't know why. That may just be like a very odd shot in the dark, but I think it's going to be good. I've heard great things. Beautiful cover. So that one. Another mystery, They Wish They Were Us by Jessica Goodman. This one's kind of like a high school murder mystery. Then we have Down Comes the Night by Allison Saft. This feels very gothic. I don't know if it's just because of like the home and the cover and things like that, but it feels like it's going to be a fun gothic atmospheric read. I think it's like there are monsters in the house, which I think is going to be kind of fun. So excited about this one. We also have The Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin. This one, seasonal witches, stunning covers, gorgeous hardback. I really want to get to this one, and I think it's going to be fantastic. Little Thieves by Margaret Owen. She also wrote The Merciful Crow. This is a Goose Girl retelling from the villain's point of view, which I think will be super fun. Also, Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson. She has also written Sorcery of Thorns and An Enchantment of Ravens, which both of those I thoroughly enjoyed. I think this is like a killer nun. So cool. I love how I was like, I am not going to go into detail about any of these, proceeds to go into detail about all of them. The next one is The Hawthorne Legacy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is a sequel to the Inheritance games that I loved, very Knives Out. This one might be like number one. I might read this one first because I think it's going to be super fun. She also just released the third book's cover, and it's also stunning. I've loved every single one of them. So super pumped about this one. Another sequel, Good Girl, Bad Blood. This was Good Girl's Guide to Murder sequel by Holly Jackson. Loved the first one. Can't wait to read the second one. I don't know why I've been waiting so long. I think the third one's already out as well. So if I finish this one and absolutely love it, I might just go pick up the third one and read that one. Also bringing The Maidens by Alex Michaelids. We've talked about this one pretty extensively on this channel. So excited, slightly terrified. Can't wait. And the last one that I'm bringing for right now will probably add to this list, but it is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I have the incredible honor of annotating this as part of our giveaway that Tiffany has won, and I'm so excited. So I am reading and annotating A Court of Thorns and Roses, and Allie is reading and annotating A Court of Mist and Fury, and both of these books are part of the giveaway, as well as some other bookish items that were so fun. So Tiffany won this, and I cannot wait to read and annotate this and then get to send it to her, because that might be like one of my favorite bookish gifts. If someone reads a book and annotates it and sends it to me, and then I get to see all of their thoughts and why they liked it and the things that stand out to them, it's just like music to my ears, makes my soul and heart so happy. I absolutely love it, so I cannot wait to get to do this for her. ACOTAR is actually my favorite one out of the series. I know that's kind of an unpopular opinion, but I just like really love trials. So I'm excited to get to read this one and annotate it and put all my little thoughts into it, and I can't wait. Can't wait to jump into these. And yeah, so I have a road trip to go on, and I'll check back in with you later. So I'm back from South Carolina. I was there for a full week and carried this book around with me everywhere I went and proceeded to not read a single page. But the trip was super fun. It was a great time with family. It was so beautiful. I went on so many walks. The trees were gorgeous. So it was an absolute blast. But I just had so much fun being with people that I just didn't have time to read, which is a good problem to have. However, now that I have been back, I did read and finish The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is book 2. The first one, I grabbed the wrong book. I knew that something didn't look right. Okay. However, now that I have been back for a couple of days, I have now read and finished The Hawthorne Legacy, which is the sequel to The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. So I absolutely devoured and ate up The Inheritance Games, and I liked The Hawthorne Legacy. However, I just didn't like it quite as much. This was more of a solid 3-star read for me. I feel like it may have been a little bit more romance focused rather than like the mystery. And there wasn't quite as many like tricks and clues and things that surprised me. It was definitely a continuation of the story, so that was good. But I don't think it like had me in a chokehold the way that The Inheritance Games did. So 3 stars. I did enjoy it. It was a lot of fun. It was a quick and easy read. But maybe a little bit of like that second book slump. I have also started my next read, which is a 4th reread of A Court of Thorns and Roses. I am annotating this one. So I'm about a third of the way through. I'm of course enjoying it. I love it. I think I'm taking it a little bit more slowly than normal just because this is my 4th time reading it. Nothing is quite as surprising. So I have found myself able to like put it down a little bit more than normal, but I am thoroughly enjoying it. I do think I'm going to go to a coffee shop this afternoon, so I'm going to take A Court of Thorns and Roses, keep reading it and annotating it, but I'm also going to take this one, and I'm going to be completely honest, y'all, it's shallow. The only reason I selected this one out of my fall TBR stack is because it matches my outfit. So I am taking The Maidens by Alex Michaelids, Dark Academia. That's the vibe we're going for. Yeah, very shallow. But I do think this is the nudge I need to go ahead and start this book. So I do think it's good and very much worth it. So again, I'm still kind of scared and intimidated by this book, but I have talked to several people who have read it and absolutely loved it. So that makes me feel a lot better. But these are the 2 that I'm going to be reading this week and hoping to finish soon. And an oldie but goodie, and one that intimidates me. So let's do it. Okay, so I'm doing a little check back in. I finished my reread of A Court of Thorns and Roses. It was so much fun. I had so much fun annotating it. I typically don't annotate books. I will take notes on it if it is a podcast episode book, but I usually take that on my phone. But it was just so fun to get to kind of like write everything down. It also made me think and look for things that I may have missed otherwise. But it was just such a blast, and I really hope Tiffany enjoys this. I had so much fun doing it. But yeah, it was just so much fun. So happy to do it. So I did it. I started The Maidens, and I'm not gonna lie, I had the hardest time reading it. I was so bored. I didn't like any of the characters. I feel like none of them had any depth. For a mystery thriller, it was very blah, like nothing was really happening. It was just like, it just was not it for me. And also, I'm sure that this is like just me and probably like a writing style, but the chapters were like less than 4 pages. And that like broke it up too much for me. Like it felt very staccato and it felt like the book didn't have a flow to it. And so like, I'm sure like some people probably really enjoy that writing style. It just wasn't it for me. Because I felt like I was being taken out of the story every time the chapter ended instead of it like kind of flowing along and telling a story. So anyway, I made it about 160 pages and I was like, I'm just not having a good time. I'm not enjoying this. I don't like any of the characters. I don't really love where the story was going. So I decided to DNF it, but because it is a mystery, I was like, I know it's going to bother me if I don't know like who the murderer was. So I looked up spoilers and needless to say, I'm just so happy that I did not continue reading it, just because I didn't like where it went. The spoilers kind of made me a little angry if I'm going to be completely honest. And it's just not my cup of tea. Not going to yuck anyone's yum. Just wasn't my yum personally. So I'm super bummed because I really wanted to like this book. The cover is absolutely gorgeous, but it just wasn't it for me. So DNF'd this one. However, I did start King of Scars last night by Leigh Bardugo. This is our next podcast episode. And oh my gosh, I'm having so much fun. It was kind of the perfect thing to pick up right after DNFing The Maidens because it was from the get-go really fast-paced. There were characters that I didn't know we were going to get to see. And that was just like such a sweet surprise. It's such a fun little surprise. So anyway, I'm absolutely loving it. The characters are wonderful. There's a character that I really, really did not like in the Shadow and Bone trilogy that like I am begrudgingly starting to like in King of Scars. But yeah, I'm loving it. It's so much fun. I am so excited that we get to talk about this book in depth for the podcast. But yeah, it's kind of the perfect thing to pick up. Otherwise, I think it could have gone into like a little bit of a book slump after DNFing The Maidens. So this one wasn't on my fall TBR, but I needed to read it for the podcast. So happy, absolutely loving it. Such a fun little read and it just makes me really happy. So as soon as I finish this one, I will check back in, but it's time to go get reading. Okay, y'all, I can't get over how much I have loved reading this book. It is absolutely amazing. Nikolai is just top notch. The banter is incredible. We get multiple POVs, which has been so much fun. And the plot took a twist that I didn't see coming. And even though this book has been out for quite a while, I am shocked that I have not read any spoilers for it. I mean, I know kind of like who the couple's supposed to be, but that is literally it. Literally it. So I just like, it's been so incredibly good. I just absolutely loved it. And especially because like I didn't love Shadow and Bone, but devoured Six of Crows. And then this just like, it's just top notch. It's just so good. So absolutely loved it. But if you want to hear more of my thoughts as well as my co-host Allie's, definitely go check out our episode on King of Scars over on the Bibliovert podcast. We have over 35 other episodes where we just talk about books and have a really great time. We have an episode that comes out every single Monday and we just have the best time talking about books. So definitely check that out. We also have an Instagram, the Bibliovertpodcast. So if you want to DM us any of your thoughts on books, please feel free to. And we have a Patreon that is filled with some of the most incredible humans on the planet that all love books, and we just have a really fantastic time. So if you're looking for a bookish community, please feel free to check that out as well. But that is it for this video. I hope you have a fantastic week. Happy reading, and I'll see you next time.